Sometimes we just get a really good idea in our heads of a challenge run, and this was one of them. I decided that we were going to do a bow-only run in New Vegas. Now, of course, there is no bows in New Vegas. How do we fix this issue? We add a mod. So we added a mod to add bows into New Vegas. We call ourselves Arrow, of course. We make ourselves look generic because, well, to be fair, I wasn't really going with any general look. Same thing with the skill points. I didn't really care too much about them. I could have gone into strength, but for me, I didn't know quite like what the bow would need. So when it came to selecting skills, I really didn't know if a bow was considered a gun, what it was considered. So I just went with guns, lockpicking, and a bit of science. So then we of course have to talk with Doc Mitchell. He gives us a few things, and then we're off on our way pretty much. The first thing we do immediately is we go check to see if the shopkeeper in Good Springs has any bows, and he doesn't. So we go talk to Sunny. She's going to teach us how to shoot a gun, I guess, even though we'll never use it. And I figured this doesn't fail the challenge because we're not killing anything with the gun. This is just to complete a quest, gain XP, etc. So we go talk with Trudy after that, and she tells us about good old Ringo, and how he could probably use some of our help. So we go talk with Ringo, and he says, yeah, I could really use your help, getting chased by powder gangers, see if you can get some help from other people as well. So to go talk to Sunny. Sunny smiles and she says, yeah, sure, I'm all happy to help. Maybe you can try enlisting some of the other people around town. Yeah, that didn't happen. So we end up doing the battle just with Sunny, Cheyenne, myself, and Ringo. I don't have a weapon at this point, so I just have to sit there while they take him down. Of course, they do. I talk with Ringo. He says to look him up someday or whatever. I never do, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. So then we're pretty much off. We're going to the strip as early as possible because I have a feeling gun runners would probably have a bow. And let's just say my first few tries to escape the death claws did not work until finally I get a run like this, where I watch as 7 death claws almost reached me before I got out of their aggro range, and I fortunately did not die. We of course find what we're looking for, a recurve bow from Gunrunners, buy some arrows, and that was pretty much all of our caps. Owning a bow is extremely expensive. So we're gonna go off, save the deputy, and at this point, taking down convicts with a bow it's fun. Sometimes they take a little bit to take down, where the arrows just don't do anything. It doesn't matter if they're hunting arrows; it just doesn't matter. And we see that with the leader especially, how it takes a lot to take him down. So we of course save Deputy Beagle, and he's not, he doesn't care at all that we saved him. He's kind of a bit of an asshole for that one. But enjoy. So, after that lovely convict killing time lapse, I suppose, we go talk with an old man who sends us to Deputy Beagle to tell us basically where Benny went. Benny and his goons. So he tells me they went up to Nipton, and that's our next place we're going. We get some jackals here that they really were nothing at all. Like, these jackals, no issue whatsoever with them. We meet Oliver Swanwick, which I may have, murdered him for his lottery ticket, which I never used. I kind of just murdered him, took his lottery ticket, and never used it. We meet Vulpes in Colta, where he tells me to show that he murdered a bunch of people, and he'll do it again. We meet somebody else using a bow, which is interesting. We meet Jeannie Mae Crawford, and she tells us to go meet up with Manny because he's kind of the watchman, so he would have known kind of, what would have been going on at the time. And unfortunately, he's not going to give out that information until we clear out the ghouls out of a old rocket factory, I think. Now, these ghouls are pretty easy. Literally one fire arrow sends them running, and if they run into the others, it's just easy profit. Now, I did miss like 2 shots point blank. We're not going to talk about those, though. We meet someone over the intercom who tells us that, hey, get moving west side of the staircase. And here is Chris Haverson, someone who believes that he is a ghoul, but as you can see, he is not. Talk with Jason Bright, who is an actual ghoul, and tells us that, hey, there's some demons that kinda invaded. Can you take care of the demons? So, we go take care of the demons, and I'm running out of arrows at this point. They're not the easiest to take down. They take quite a few arrows unless I get lucky, especially the last one. I wasted so many arrows dumping them into this guy's head. But we did eventually succeed. Go back to Jason, tell him, hey, it's all cleared, demons are gone. And he's like, oh yeah? Hey, go talk with Chris Haverson and have him, and you guys can work on the rockets. So we go get a thrust control module from the junkyard, head back to Chris, hand it back to him. He tells us go get some igniter fuel. Go get the igniter fuel, hand him back to Chris, and he tells Jason that the great journey can begin. Now, unfortunately, what Chris Haverson didn't realize is he would not be a part of this great journey. And he was a little upset once he found out that he's not a ghoul. So we tell him, hey, why don't you just, go live amongst people again? He's like, alright, I'll try it. We watch the rockets take off, and one of them kind of looked like they were going to crash, but everything seems to go well. Back to Manny Vargas, we tell him, hey, everything's clear, you can go ahead and start scavenging again, whatever you want. He tells us that Benny and his goons went up to Boulder City. At Boulder City, we meet Lieutenant Monroe, who says that, the convoys are they're in a little bit of a standoff with two hostages. Go talk with Jessup, one of the convoys, and he tells us that Benny stole the platinum chip from them, screwed them over just as well. So I'm off to the strip. Fast travel over the gun runners and go into the strip. However, Freeside thugs murder someone, so I return the favor, I guess you could say. They're pretty weak to bow and arrow shots. Find a man called Old Ben who says that I'm gonna get vaporized if I try running past them. Now, I could've, chanced it and got in. I decided not to. We're gonna go the correct way. Now, for this, we either need 2,000 credits, or 2,000 caps, or a passport, basically. So, we're gonna go get a passport. We go talk with Pacer. He's like, hey, you need, give me 50 caps, you can go talk to the king. Give him 50 caps, go talk to the king. King's like, hey, I could use some help. And, well, I don't really have much of a choice here, so we, of course, help the king. King has us go check on a bodyguard that could be scamming his victims. So, we go talk to Oris, and, we have him protect us for 200 caps. He tells us, hey, I don't like the look of some people up there, let's go this way. He fires off what was it, like 3-4 rounds. And I tell him that, I'm like, hey, you only fired like 3 shots, there's 4 guys there. He of course doesn't appreciate that, but we go back to the king, tell him, hey, this guy's running a scam. King takes care of it, of course. Now he wants us to go question some people about an attack. We meet good old Roy, and Roy says that he was leaving the Wrangler, and out of nowhere, some people show up and yelling back at them, and everything broke loose. Now, the other guy, either son, friend, whatever, says something about Lou T. Tennant, but I'm pretty sure he just meant lieutenant, you know, like NCR lieutenant. Go back to the king, tell him, hey, I'm pretty sure it's an NCR soldier, or soldiers that did this. Maybe we should take a look at that. So, we go get sent to Julie Farkas, where we ask, hey, do you know anything about NCR soldiers? She says to go talk with, like, missionaries. We convince a missionary that, hey, yeah, we're an NCR citizen. And then we decide to go into a back alleyway. I know, not the best idea. And follow this strange man into an alleyway where he leads us to a dead body. And, yeah, let's just say, maybe next time before they try to lead someone into a back alleyway, they look at the weapons they're carrying. I'm carrying a bow with a fire arrow, so it didn't go too well for them. So we go talk with Elizabeth Kieran after, you know, muttering the word hope. And she tells us that they sent an envoy, and they came back battered and bruised. So we go back to the king, where Pacer meets us and is like, hey, don't you dare say anything. Of course, I said something to the king. And, oh no, what's happening? We have a big fight going on over by the railroad tracks. We approach with no weapons, talk with Elizabeth Kieran again, and is like, hey, look, king did not send these guys. And, yeah, so calm down, you know, don't kill any more men. And after all of this fiasco, the king's like, hey, look, you helped me a lot. What do you need? I tell him, hey, I need into the strip. He sends us to Ralph. Ralph gets us into the strip with a passport for 500 credits. Caps. Caps, credits. You get the idea. We go to the Securitron gatekeeper, show him, hey, here's my passport. Pretty sure it's fake, but who cares? So then, it's finally time to take out Benny. It's all led up to this. We refuse to put away our weapons, catch Benny on fire. I'm losing health quickly. Grab my frag grenade arrow, shoot it off, right at Benny, kill him and his goons, and that's it for Benny. We exit, and Volpes and Colta is back, but this time he's in disguise. He tells us Caesar wants to see us. So, we start heading towards that. However, Camp Searchlight is irradiated to absolute hell. Now, he wasn't kidding. It's green here. It's a bad vibe. Completely bad vibe. However, that did not stop us from immediately heading through and going to Caesar. So we make it across, and we make it to the fort. We were originally confused about why we had to disarm, but we disarmed out of respect for Caesar. Caesar asks us if we're willing to do some things for him, and at this point, I've decided we're going with the Caesar finish. So, we go ahead and decide to start this. He tells us we need to go down into a bunker and destroy everything. Destroy the entire bunker. I grab EMP arrows because I have an extremely bad feeling that there's about to be some robots down here. And I was right. And not only was I right, EMP arrows are also extremely deadly to these. So, with that in mind, I continue to take down the Protectrons. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. I attempt to blow up the generators by EMP arrow, which of course doesn't work. On my way out, I almost get deleted by assaultrons, but I make it out. Head back to Caesar. He tells us, hey, I need you to go kill House. My first attempt did not go well. Because you see, the Securitrons are very powerful. From explosives, I'm not doing enough damage. However, remember what I said earlier about EMP? So, we go and sell everything in our bags and get some EMP arrows. Because, you know, that's literally all it takes to kill these guys. A single arrow. Now, of course, I did end up breaking my limbs to an explosion, but that's neither here nor there. We take out the Securitrons with absolute ease. Go down to Mr. House, his disgusting, groveling body. And we tell him, hey, look, it's just business. Time for you to die. Go back to Caesar. He's like, hey, I need you to either get the boomers on our side or eradicate them from existence. So here's the problems with the boomers. Getting to their base is an extreme, marathon. I was doing good at first, and then I blow up. And you will see this multiple times. It's not easy, really, to do. But I eventually, after 6th, 7th try, I make it down to the fence where they will no longer fire missiles at me. We get in, talk with an old lady, and she wants us to help, and I am not in the interest of helping, so what do? I blow up an old lady boomer. So then I kill Loyal, and then I kill Mr. Gutsy, and whoever else I found along the way. Then I talk with Caesar, tell him, hey, yeah, boomers are gone. I couldn't get him to, help us out. He then sends us to the White Glove Society. He says, hey, look, the White Glove Society used to be like cannibals or whatever. Why don't you use that to your advantage? But first, I decide to go get a nice upgrade. I get the Apex Predator bow and turn in our recurve bow before heading over to the White Glove Society. We talk to Marjorie. She's like, yeah, no. We're not interested in helping you because our name's already been slandered enough. Talk with Mortimer. He sees the benefits, but he won't budge unless Marjorie will budge. Talk with Caesar. He is extremely unhappy. However, he's willing to let us live still. But our next goal is to take down the Brotherhood of Steel. Now, I won't say they were easy, but I won't say they were hard either. Pretty much a frag grenade to the legs, and they're done for. And, that's all she wrote, pretty much. We ignite a bunker self-destruct sequence, which didn't have a password on it, per se, and we leave and blow up the bunker. However, after picking up all their stuff, I'm now 900 weight, so we gotta head to Good Springs and sell everything we own, and that's gonna be a bit of a trek. So I'm just gonna save you the hell. We did make it, and we sold everything. Once we had sold everything and our pockets were clear, we went back to Caesar. And he gives us a nice private conversation that, hey, I'm dying, can you help? How do we help? We go and head into an abandoned vault full of ghouls and get a scanning module for Caesar's autodock. Then we come back and it says, hey, you can activate autopsy mode or activate surgery mode. We, going with the Caesar ending, decided to activate autopsy mode and save him. Or surgery mode, my bad. He then sends us on the front lines, and it is finally time to annihilate the NCR. At this point, The bow is extremely powerful. I have plenty of ammo. And these guys are no trouble whatsoever. 3 arrows, maybe max. Sometimes I get lucky and I can just do a straight shot to the head. Take out the snipers and unlock the ventilation shaft so that way people can leave and help me out in the battle. Then it's on to, once again, NCR heavy troopers, which are literally the same as the Brotherhood of Steel. You shoot them in the legs with a frag grenade arrow and they're done for. Why do they have this weakness? I don't know. I thought power armor was supposed to help against explosives. It does not. Simple arrow to the knee, and that's all she wrote. We find General Lee Oliver, and he's like, oh, the battle's not over yet. I'm protected against everything. Maybe with your protection against everything, you could have, like, I don't know, actually protected everything? Now this is when I'm getting extremely low on arrows. We really need to conserve, and I got really lucky with 2 headshots that were direct kills immediately. No issues whatsoever on killing these guys. But this guy, this one guy, took these arrows like a champ. No issues whatsoever. 3 arrows, 4 arrows. Even 5 arrows and nothing. 6 arrows. 7. 8. 9. 10 arrows is what it took to kill this guy. And that was insane. And that was probably the hardest enemy I had, was just that one guy. Of course, I didn't know General Lee Oliver was already dead, but that's neither here nor there. We go back to Legate Lanius, and he's like, good job, we're gonna eventually conquer California and whatever. But we did indeed answer the question. You can indeed beat Fallout New Vegas with only a bow. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.